Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vicki Chats podcast. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I've got a very special guest in the studio today. If you've spent any time downtown lately, you've already know his name, Jeremy Jones. Yes, Jeremy. He's the guy behind two of Waterloo's go-to spots for food, music, and unforgettable nights. Screaming Eagle, American Bar and Grill, and Bootleggers Kitchen and Bar. Jeremy didn't just open these restaurants, he helped build a scene from killer burgers and packed lunch hours to live bands, open mics, game days, and nights with that turn legendary. His places are where Waterloo shows up to eat loud, drink proud, and support local music. Jeremy took a huge leap, bet on the community, and helped prove that Waterloo is the place for entertainment. I'm excited to have him here. Let's talk food, music, and why downtown just keeps on getting better.
Well, thanks, Vicki, for having me. I really appreciate it, and good morning. And I'm really looking forward to our chat today.
Oh, me too, Jeremy. It's such an honor and a pleasure. Thank you again. So, Jeremy, when people walk into Screaming Eagle or Bootleggers, what feeling do you want them to have right away?
I really want to get them to get a sense of our vibe. Wow, this is really cool. This seems like it's going to be a really fun time. I want that the second they walk in the door.
Yes, the second they walk in. I love it. So, you didn't just open places to eat, you built spots where things happen. Why was creating an experience so important to you?
Well, really, what would make us different from anywhere else was kind of the first thought I had in my head. Anyone can just go somewhere and grab a bite to eat and a couple drinks, but
Right.
to come in to different activities, to live music, to a comedian, that I think sets us apart from anywhere else in the Cedar Valley. We're one of the two of the very, very few places that continue to do that on a consistent basis.
Yes, exactly. So live music is a huge part of both locations. So what does music add that food and drinks alone never could?
It just keeps people there. It keeps people having fun,
Yeah,
dancing, having a good time.
yeah,
Of course, from a business perspective, they stay and they spend some more money, and they
yeah.
enjoy a good time with us. And
Right.
so I would rather you spend a great time with us than to go anywhere else, obviously. So
Exactly. So Waterloo's entertainment scene has seriously leveled up. So what makes this city such a great place for live music right now?
well, I think we have such a large amount of local talent, and we've got some younger folks coming up that still care about the more traditional music. And then that being said, we also have a community of people who really rally around and support those local musicians, and they're almost
Yes.
kind of picky about who they support. They want to support local versus an out of town band or artist.
Right. Wow, I love it. So, you took a massive risk, Jeremy, betting on downtown. What gave you the confidence to go all in?
Well, when I was approached first and foremost about Screaming Eagle, I had some conversations with some local leadership and some, politicians,
Hmm.
city council people, and they really, really believe that downtown would be the mecca for the future of nightlife and entertainment in Waterloo, and so it just made sense to me.
Yes, yes, absolutely. In Waterloo and the whole Cedar Valley.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. So there's a lot of personality in your brands. How much of you, Jeremy, shows up in these spaces?
A lot more than one would think. I have always had a deep love for music, and ever since I was a little kid, I always like going to the local watering holes with my parents to
Yeah.
eat or whatever. And when you come into Screaming Eagle, I think you see um, the rock and roll vibe that I really love. And then when you go into Bootleggers, you see kind of how I grew up. I grew up in the
Oh,
country. I grew up on a farm,
oh, you
and then
did?
we spent time in the small town
Oh.
watering holes and just the small town main streets, and that's kind of what I was trying to create with Bootleggers.
I love that so much. So, from lunch rush to late night crowds, how do you keep the energy right at all times of day?
I think getting to know the needs of the guests, your lunch crowd comes in, they're probably at work, they're having a quick meeting or a quick bite to eat, and then they got to get
Yes,
back to what they do. So getting them in and
right.
out in a timely manner is important. At night, you have maybe the stressed out after work people who just need a drink to
Right.
unwind, or maybe there's a game or something on that
Right.
people are looking forward to seeing. So it's just really knowing that you're going to keep the night people probably longer than you
Yes,
are the day people.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, what's your process for booking bands and artists that actually connect with the crowd?
Well, like we kind of hit on earlier, I like to keep things local,
Hmm.
and a lot of times I'll prioritize the local artists, but then I'll go on social media and see what their presence on social media is. How many followers do they have? What are their crowds looking like in other venues? Things like that. Things that make sense. Do you make sense for my environment, and can we support each other?
Wow, amazing. Yeah, social media, what would we do without
Yeah,
it?
we would be
Yeah,
lost.
right?
Yeah, literally.
You're going to think this is pretty funny, but I resisted Facebook my whole life till 2022. And I had an old friend say, I'll reach out to you on Facebook. And I said, I don't do that. And they're like, oh, come on, just try it. I'm like, fine. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's really hard to keep up on social media because
Yeah,
there's all these platforms that are creeping up, and
yeah.
as I get older, it's really hard for me to keep track of it
Yes, of
all. Like, where am I supposed to
course.
be personally, and where am I supposed to be from a business standpoint?
Right. And you
Yeah,
just have to discipline yourself and just I try to call my phone piece of metal and I throw it across the couch
yeah.
and that piece of metal staying over there. I'm reading or I'm doing this. So yeah, you just have to discipline yourself. So, okay. So you support a lot of local musicians. Why is this so important to you?
Well, I think that, like I said earlier, that's what the community wants from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And a lot of those local musicians I've gotten to know, and they support me when they're not playing music. So
Ooh,
having that partnership and friendship and that camaraderie,
yes.
it excites me to be able to see those old friends every week, and to see how far out how many bands I can book and how far out I can book them.
Yes, I love that. So every great spot has a vibe. How do you describe the Screaming Eagle American Bar and Grill vibe versus the Bootleggers Kitchen and Bar vibe?
Good question. Well, it's been about a year now since Bootleggers has been open, and when I decided to create this Bootleggers idea, it was very important to me to keep the branding separate because of how close together they were. So when
Yes.
you walk into Screaming Eagle, I would like to think you're going to see a stripped down version of like a Hard Rock Cafe.
Right?
Our focus is on rock and blues, and it's just got that a little bit louder vibe. When you go into Bootleggers, you're seeing, like I said, I'm from the country. You're seeing the
Mhm.
country. You're seeing an old small town Iowa tavern versus maybe combined with a Nashville honky tonk, kind of a jack of all
Yes.
trades type thing. To keep it
Yes.
kind of country, we also have
Right.
41 flavors of moonshine, which also kind of keeps that vibe.
Oh,
So it's a
yes.
pretty cool place to hang out. If you haven't been there, you should definitely check it out.
Yes. What's your favorite flavor of moonshine?
We talked about this earlier. It's
Yeah.
called Hunch Punch. It is a tropical punch flavored moonshine,
Oh,
but it
yummy.
does pack a punch. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, okay. So for whatever reason at age 40, I stopped drinking. I just thought empty calories, I don't need it, blah. I'm happy enough as is. Can you convince me to start drinking?
If you try some Hunch Punch, maybe I'd have to
Ooh,
maybe make you a drink with it because straight up, it's pretty strong.
okay. Deal.
Deal.
Younger crowds. Let's talk about the kids. Younger crowds are looking for more than just a bar. What do you think they really want when they go out?
That's been something that's kind of been a challenge to me lately as I get older. And, Waterloo isn't necessarily a college town like Cedar Falls is,
Yeah.
but it seems like what young people are looking for is they're looking for a party, just like I did when I was in college. They're still looking
Sure.
for that. They're looking for a place to be seen, maybe some photo ops, a way to share their experience on social media. We get a lot of younger people in on party buses and on special occasions that
Oh.
really, really love our live music because it just really doesn't exist in Cedar Falls.
Wow. Yes, it does not exist in Cedar Falls. So check this out. What's one moment that you looked around your place, either one of your places, and thought, yeah, this is it?
Well, when you hit that sweet spot with a certain band, and maybe the band hasn't played in a while, or they have a huge following, and everyone just decides to come out, the environment's right, the lighting's right, the weather's right. And then also our
Yes.
community events, Irish Fest and my Waterloo days and the 4th Street Cruise, probably my favorite event. Just seeing everybody come out and be happy and looking forward to
Yes.
something different to do
Right.
outside of the weekend norm. That's when I look around and be like, I'm really glad I have this to
Right.
provide to people.
Exactly. I love all those events, and the 4th Street Cruise is my favorite too. The beautiful vehicles,
Yeah.
they're breathtaking.
And it's kind of the kickoff to the summer for
Yeah,
downtown too.
there you
So
go.
that's a really fun event to look forward to.
Yes, kick off to the summer. So, downtown business owners really lean on one another. How does that camaraderie help the whole scene grow?
I've met some really cool people, some really cool managers and business owners downtown since I've been there, and we've had some come and go, and I think we all experience the same ebbs and flows. When the weather's bad, we all experience a slow day, and then we vent to each other and we celebrate with each other. Those types of events and things that happen. So it's just keeping in communication. Hey, what can we do to piggyback off each other, to partner? I solicit one of my local neighbors pretty much every day. Try to grab a coffee or a breakfast or lunch or whatever, check out the farmer's market. It's just really fun to see people and to check that kind of stuff out.
That's fabulous. So, Jeremy, what's one thing people will be surprised to know about you?
Well, I can't swim.
Aww.
And I don't really want to learn to. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just terrified of anything over 3 feet of water.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
The other thing is, prior to being a restaurateur or an entrepreneur, I was a technology guy. I worked in tech for 13 years. So that's a really difficult transition for most people. But for me, it just seemed to work. So I'll take it.
Wonderful. I love that so much. So what are one or two bucket list items that you're hoping to check off in the future?
I've been fortunate enough where I've been able to travel a decent amount. I've been to a lot of places in the US, but I think the one place I'd still like to go would be New York City. I've never been.
You gotta go.
I got some college roommates live in Boston. I've been that far, but the other thing would just be a consistent good night's sleep. I would say that's a pretty good bucket list item to me.
There you go. A good night's sleep in New York. You've got to go.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah, I was there in February of 1986, and it was beautiful. It was during the Chinese New Year.
Oh, yeah.
And there were all these fun events going on downtown. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. And I loved it so much. And then of course we saw a Broadway show, and I love the theater. So yeah, you definitely need to go. But a good night's sleep first.
Good night's sleep.
Yes. Okay. So everyone has a pet peeve, Jeremy. What's something small that totally drives you nuts, either at work or in everyday life?
When people don't put things back where they find them.
Oh.
There's nothing more upsetting than when I go to a toolbox to grab a screwdriver and it's not there, and then I go find it sitting in a drawer somewhere else.
Yes.
There's a reason why we have a toolbox.
Right.
I just hate that when people don't put things back where they find them.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. And what's next for live music, food, and entertainment in downtown Waterloo?
I don't know. I think about that a lot. You get to a point where things are going really well and you're like, okay, so now what? I've always been kind of ambitious of what's next.
Yes.
I think the people have to come first.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people, business owners in my line of work, I think we react to the crowd. Mm-hmm. If there's a need for expansion or a need to offer other things, the people have to be there first and foremost. The community support is something I've always leaned on and reacted to. So I would say that's probably the number one thing to cause me to say or to execute what's next, so to speak.
Exactly. Going off topic, what's your favorite menu item at both places?
Ooh. At Screaming Eagle, I would probably say the spicy eagle wrap would be a favorite. Our mac and cheese is a big hit. I had that the other day and I really like that. And I know you like that too.
Yeah, I love it.
Over at Bootleggers, I have a couple. I would say the Ruckus BLT, which is a flatbread version of BLT. It has chicken, bacon, and a fried green tomato on it, which not a lot of places in the Cedar Valley have fried green tomatoes, or probably even in Iowa for that matter. And then our peach bourbon steak sandwich is really good too. But there's too many to list, but those are my go-tos.
I love it. And I love your cheesecake.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that.
So good. So yummy. And the sweet potato fries.
Waffle fries. Yeah, you're always the mac and cheese, sweet potato waffle fries with the cheesecake. And my staff knows that. When she walks in, everybody's like, well, Vicky's here. We know what she's getting. They have it rang in before she even sits down.
Are you serious?
If they think you're eating, yes.
Okay, so Shauna and Brooklyn, they're so precious. I love them. They're the ones I've gotten to know the best so far. But your whole staff, it's just an energy, a
Yeah.
positive energy there that I love. Once you walk in the door, you're welcome. And there's a great vibe. Everybody's smiling, and those big TVs, and the music. It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
my pleasure. So to wrap up, why should people keep showing up, supporting local spots, and making some noise right here in Waterloo?
The most important thing I think is the local businesses, and not just the restaurants, are the ones that support your kids' sports leagues and your kids'
Yes.
activities and the fundraisers and the different events that go on. We sponsor a ton of stuff. We
Right.
give a ton of stuff. We just are getting ready to launch something with the food bank coming up.
Ooh.
Obviously, we're big sponsors of the 4th Street Cruise and Cattle
Yes.
Congress, and
Yes.
we care about our community because they care about us, and it's almost like a partnership, a friendship. Even if we don't know some of those people, but they're what keeps us going. They're the reason why our doors are open. And so I think versus some of the chain restaurants and businesses, they're not supporting you the way we do, and they're not going to.
No.
And I tell people that all the time. Where it's at, we'll take care of you if you take care of us.
Right. You have a very special band to me, and that's Deja Blue.
Yeah.
My colleague, Vince Gutera,
Yes.
University of Northern Iowa professor.
Yep.
I had him for poetry writing. He's our state's poet laureate.
Yes, he is.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
He's so multi-talented. And I love that band. And they're there like every Wednesday.
They're there tonight. Yeah. Today's Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. They're there tonight, friends.
Yep.
So let's go over. I'll go. You want to go meet me there tonight? Let's dance to Deja Blue. Yep. Shall we?
And if you don't want to dance, you can always come to Bootleggers for bingo at 7 p.m. tonight as well. So we have events at both places tonight.
Perfect. I can't.
So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I will be around. So come and say hi.
Yes, come and say hi. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Jeremy. It was such a pleasure.
Vicki. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure and my honor. And next month we'll do this again.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Me too.